I'm very happy to introduce Erica Sosna today. She knows everything about the careers, how to help people who are working in huge famous corporations. And we have the luxury to find out that for people who work not only in huge corporations, how to change your career in difficult times. Also, she talks a lot about women, how to change careers. And that's a big honor for me, Erica. And my first question to you is these difficult times where a lot of people now working online, some of the people have to go home. We have a big company in Kazakhstan, 2,000 people work with us because we are distributors of Renault automobile. And it's very difficult to keep people engaged, especially if they're working from home, because there are a lot of distractions like the cat, the dog, a child, online schooling, and a lot of other things. How to keep your team working good if they're located in different locations, one in office, one in the house, how to keep them still a team?
That's a really good question, and thank you for having me today. So lots of people are asking this question, aren't they? And some for the first time, so a lot of us have been forced into different ways of working as a result of the pandemic. But the good news is that there are also lots of people who have been working as part of virtual teams for over a decade. I actually haven't worked in an office full time since 2002. So the good news is that although it's new to lots of people, it isn't new to everyone. And so we can benefit from the lessons learned and the practices that other people have engaged in while managing global and virtual teams. Teams where people may never have met in person, teams where they're cooperating across different time zones. So there are a couple of things that help to make teams of this kind work really effectively. The first is it really depends on the stage of career that somebody is at and their experience within your firm. So the first thing as a manager is to be mindful about who's just joined, doesn't know how things work around here, doesn't have the network, and what support and time might they need to really feel part of something, versus people who've been part of the business for a long time. They know who to contact if they need something. They have strong relationships that meant that they have had previous experience of meeting one another. So the first thing is to really understand what's the difference between the people in the team and what they need right now.
And Erica, I think even those people who are in the company for a long time, they can help those who are just joined and they have no idea how to work in this virtual time.
Yeah, absolutely. So everybody is adapting to this new environment in reality. But there are a couple of things that make virtual working better than it can be, right? The first is to use technology really consciously. So what we've done, a lot of us, is we've moved from in-person meetings to video meetings. Now, video meetings, it's great to be able to see people's faces, but it's actually really exhausting to be staring at a screen all day. It also means that people can't move. Yeah. So it's worth really thinking about what are the times when we might be able to change this to an audio meeting, or even to use email or WhatsApp to have some simple questions answered, and save virtual video meetings for when we need to have a really good quality discussion, where it's important for us to be able to see one another and to respond to one another's cues. And the same is true for meetings with clients, right, at a distance. The first meeting, it's really useful to have video and see faces. But after that, it's really useful to ask a client, what works better for you? Working, on the phone still exists, and you can be more mobile or go for a walk while you're talking, etc. Or to see me and to be sitting alongside each other, or indeed looking at a document together. So
true enough. Erica, what about people who never met each other? For example, I have a team for Hidden Hero. 3 persons are located in Moscow. 1 person is located in Kazakhstan, and they even don't have a chance. And the other person is located in Dubai. It's such different directions, time zones, and it's very expensive. I wish to take all of them to the restaurant, but I don't know in which country, because it's how to make sure one of them is lady, the others are guys, how to make sure that they can become friends and that they can become partners and nobody will be envy of each other, and how to make them a team.
Yeah. So I think the first thing is to think about how do we forge connections and relationships? We forge connections and relationships by understanding a little bit about who we've got in front of us, what their life setup is, who they live with in terms of their family, what they like to do when they're not at work. So when we're working virtually, we need to make conscious opportunities for people to meet informally. So one of the problems you get into is that a lot of the times when we meet online is because we are having a meeting. So as a manager, you want to make sure that you've got some times where you are just bringing people together to have a cup of tea, yeah, to have a drink, to eat their lunch together, just to have a chance to do some of that conversational bonding that helps people to feel like they know each other. And if you think about if you had them in the office, that would be happening naturally when they went to go and make a drink or to walk around to go and do something or to have their lunch. They might well choose to have lunch together. So really thinking about how you can translate those experiences into the virtual environment help to create that informal sense of connection. Now, remember also that you might set a time when they all meet, and that might be difficult to do. I know that the logistics and the timing might not be easy, so that might be unusual. But they can also set up times where they talk just to one another. You think about your relationships in the office, they don't all happen with all of us sitting in a circle nodding at each other. They happen with just you and I chatting over here and you having a relationship with somebody else over there. So really encouraging and supporting that chance to have short connection times, to spend time just getting to know one another and to work on projects together.
Erica, it's very logical that if you want people who are good with you, you need to make atmosphere for them that they are happy. You need to know who are they. You shouldn't only ask from them, do that, but you also should know who are they, what do they want, what are their values. Can you create that values at your office, at your home, that they are happy to work with you? I know that you're also specialist in women topics, and there a lot of our audience are women. Why for women? I think so. It's more difficult to make a career. There was one of the sociological experiments, and they found out that 80%, even 87% of money of the world belong to men. They don't belong to women. Nobody knows exactly why. Why it's more difficult for women, especially in pandemic times, to make a career. Am I right or am I wrong?
Well, I think I learned a very interesting thing about women's physiology that I think helps to demonstrate why, in terms of the economic facts that you describe, how that comes about, which is that if you ask a man and a woman what they can see and how far they can see, a woman has wider range of sight than a man. So physiologically, women are built to think about and to be aware of a wider view than men are. Yeah. And we have been made this way for a really, really long time. What that means is that it was useful for men, for many, many generations of our ancestors, to focus in a very single-minded way on killing mammoths or whatever it is that they were busy doing in terms of their work for survival. Women were traditionally involved in many more caretaking, survival, food gathering, preparation, safety awareing, education sharing, communication and collaboration activities. They were just doing more things. And therefore, their perspective, the way where their eyes sit, actually needs to be wider than a man's. And I think this helps to explain why is it harder for women to carve out a career in the traditional way that we describe a career, which is, fast and hard and going up and becoming more senior and making more money. Well, because that's a very single-minded task. And so actually all the ways in which the work environment and progression in career have been set up they have been set up for men. They have been designed for men. Therefore, they have been designed to be for somebody who approaches them single-mindedly, with a lot less consideration about the other things that are important in life, be that family or education or travel or food or pleasure or whatever. And so for women to really start to understand that the companies they work in, the economy that they exist in, has been designed by men for men. That's the first reason why it's trickier. It hasn't been designed for you, just the same way that a piece of clothing or a car or a medicine also often hasn't been designed with women in mind. It has been designed and tested for men. Those things, therefore, are going to be less comfortable. So that's number one.
Absolutely. Erica, I want to add something. I had a friend, she recently went to Saudi Arabia and she's a doctor. And she said that at the forum, she was the only woman. And even there was not bathroom for women. When she went to the bathroom, they said, I'm sorry, there are no women, there are no bathroom for a woman. To that extent, in some places, there are no chances for women to participate. But because your job, you're helping a lot of people to build career, and you're doing that successfully. During your work, did you meet a lot of women who are managing to create a great career and who are managing to have a great family? Or you will say that is exception?
Well, I think it depends on your unique design, really. So, you know, for many generations, men managed to have a great family and a great career because they had a great, mostly female partner. They had a great partner behind the scenes taking care of those things. Now, some women have a great partner, male or female, taking care of those things, right? So if you have a very supportive, what I call back end, someone behind you, pushing you out into the world and saying, it's okay, I've got the laundry covered, I've got the kids covered, you go out and make the money and, you know, fly in the world, then...
Okay, but don't you think it's not fair? The man is in front, he's taking the money, he's taking the fame, he is, as you say, flying around, and the woman is at the back. She's supporting the family, nobody's seeing her, and it's also considered that she's doing nothing. She's in a way...
Yeah, but this is what I mean. So first of all, women are starting to swap that role around. Some families have the women at the front now, number one. Number two, these environments that are built for men, they're not going to change overnight. So the woman either learns to adapt herself to the environment in which she is in, yeah, and finds ways to elegantly engage with the environment that she is in, or she tries to change that environment, and we're all involved in that, right? Bathrooms, creches, more humane environments, flexible working, all of these things have benefit primarily to women, but then eventually to everybody, or you opt out. And what you see with women who are successfully juggling families and careers is that many of them have consciously chosen to opt out of a system that isn't built for them. So either they set up their own firms, they become self-employed. The numbers here in the UK, where I'm based, are massively, disproportionately focused on women becoming self-employed. So of the numbers of people who've recently become contractors or set up their own business, there's an overwhelming majority of women. Why is that? Because the opportunities of the internet, of technology, of virtual teams, etc., are much more in favor of the flexibility that a woman generally needs in order to juggle her wider breadth of responsibilities.
Don't you think, Erica, there is a new chance now for women with this flexibility, working from home, technology? It's a chance that they will move forward, that there will be more people like Angela Merkel. There are more politicians. And by the way, these politicians are doing sometimes not less than men. I don't want to hurt men, but I think even better than men. Don't you think that it's a new chance for them?
I do think it's very exciting. I also think like women are naturally more adaptable, more collaborative, more flexible, and that therefore this new working environment does give a huge advantage to women, because having been in an environment that was built and suited men, there is a new environment now, and it can be designed to build and suit women in a way that wasn't so possible before. So men are on the back foot around that. Will every woman, though, take the opportunity and find that it really suits them? You know, yes and no, just the same as not every man will, right? But I think that certainly when it comes to organizations recognizing that it's task, not time, on which you should be measuring people, right? So the hours that they work are not as important as the quality of the job that they do. Understanding that not everything needs to be done between 9 and 5. Some tasks can be done outside of that just as effectively, therefore allowing women, again, the greater flexibility that they generally need in order to be able to manage a variety of commitments and be really high performing. But I also think that women's natural ability to create rapport, relationship, connection, community, to share ideas is really leveraged in this virtual environment. Yeah. So the opportunity to start to think about how can I use my natural skills to build relationships at a distance is a kind of time-bound opportunity that's happening right now. You know, a lot of people...
Erica, do you think if you were a man,
well, go on.
will there be more chances for you, for your job, I mean, money-wise and in general, than you're a woman?
Well,
Did you ever talk about that?
I think that the democratization of virtual working applies as a benefit to everybody, but it's something that particularly for women I would emphasize, which is now, wherever you are in the world, if you have talents and skills that are suitable for a role outside of where you are, or where you might not even legally be allowed to practice in that particular profession, you can now connect with and work for organizations outside of your locality. That is a massive, massive opportunity for women who might traditionally have been marginalized or controlled or live in a very remote or rural space. The opportunity to work to work meaningfully at a distance and to be fairly rewarded for your work.
Let's say I can work from Dubai, but I can work with you and you're located in London, and some of your clients can even be in India or in Kazakhstan. So it's the thing that it gives everybody bigger chances.
Absolutely. Absolutely it does. And we as a team in my own business work with people all over the world. We have team members in like Romania and Barbados, and but also my clients, as coaching clients, I've worked with people in Tanzania, in Australia, in Singapore, in France, in Germany, in Spain, in Dublin, you know, loads of players in the States, all across the States, who I've never met. You know, and I've worked with them on a profound level to help them really transform where they want to transform in their careers. And we have never sat next to each other. We have no idea which one of us is taller, you know, what our homes or our work environments look like. Yeah. So
is there any chance, Erica, that you're the mostly proud of, that you took one person, I don't know, from Tanzania or from Denmark, and he said, Erica, you know, I have this problem, I stuck in the career, and you told him, this is the way, try this, he did it and it worked, a kind of magic. Did it ever happen, or it's not working like that?
It happens really frequently, but I'd say that the magic sits with my clients, not with me. What I do is I provide a framework that most people haven't encountered before, that very quickly and simply allows them to access what really matters to them when they talk about success in their career. And if it's okay, I'll share it with you because I think it'd be really useful for your listeners, right? Which is broadly, it's called the career equation, but it's, forget the word equation, it's just 4 simple ideas. When we love our work, we work in an area that we are good at. So we all have natural skills and abilities. And generally speaking, we all want to use those as often as possible. And that creates a good job. So the first thing is, what do I like to do? What am I naturally good at? The second is what I call passion, which means, what are you into? What are you interested in? Some of us love to talk to people. Some of us love to discover new things. Some of us love to solve a tricky problem. Some of us love technology. Some of us love travel. Some of us like food. Yeah. So really understanding what's your subject area or your natural disposition. So I'm very nosy and I love asking good questions, which is why my work is perfect for me. Okay. So I love it. Yeah. So it doesn't have
So for you, if to put you in the office and just to bureaucratic office in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where you need to sign papers, to bring papers, this is a horror for you. Yes.
This is a true horror for me. And also you shouldn't leave me in charge of your numbers, your data, any of those things. Right. So what tends to happen with my clients is that one way or another, they have that maybe they've never found anything that they liked, or they had something and the job has moved away from it. And it's my belief that when you align what you're really good at with how you're making money, that's how you become successful. So you've got strengths, you've got what you're good at, you've got what you like, your passions, and then you've got how do you measure what success looks like? How do you judge what you're proud of? Olga will have one view about what makes you feel proud in your work, and I will have another. So your work must also line up with what makes you feel good, yeah, what makes you feel successful. And that might be financial, it might be about contribution to, it might be working in a way that has impact. Everyone has a different way. And the last thing is what kind of environment suits you best, which is exactly where this discussion about virtual teams and digital is taking us. Environment makes the difference in all things. If you look at a plant, there are palm trees and there are oak trees. These two are completely different plants. And if you put them in the wrong environment, they will die. Yeah? A palm tree in a very wet environment will die. An oak tree in a very dry environment will die. So the fourth question is, what kind of environment makes you feel that you can do great work? And that may include flexibility. It may include democracy. It may include collaboration, or it might include peace and quiet to just get on with the thing that you like to do. But what I do is help clients to answer those questions for themselves. And once they understand that criteria set, and only you can answer those questions for you, it becomes much easier for they and I to work together to help them find the experience that will match those criteria. So that's what
maybe sometimes, Erica, the person even need to leave his company, isn't it? And maybe this company doesn't suit him. Maybe it's not developed his character. And of course, very often people ask, okay, I love to take care of the gardens. I like to take care of the roses, but it doesn't bring me any money. But when I work in the office, which I hate, which I don't like, which it doesn't suit to me, which it doesn't give me any power, which is very boring, which are numbers, but it gives me money. So what to do in that situation? Should you leave the gardening because it's not your money business, or you should be tortured to death because this office gives you money? How to find money in your passion?
So I think your question exemplifies exactly the problem that we get into, which is I can either do something that I love and be, as we say in England, as poor as a church mouse, or
we say the same in Russia. Don't worry. Be poor as a church mouse. Exactly.
Poor as a church mouse. Or I can do something I hate and have money. And there's a problem on both sides there, right? Neither thing gives you what you want. Both of them are bad decisions. So how do you find the place in the middle? Well, you say, okay, what are the skills that I have, maybe from my work environment currently, that I quite like and that I'm quite good at? And how could I line those up with being involved in nature, in gardening, in plants? There are many multi-million-pound businesses, for example, that work in the plants and exterior design and landscaping business. So if we can at least move the things that we are good at and we like to a subject that we enjoy, then there is an opportunity to combine both things. And sometimes something is so special to us that putting money alongside it actually doesn't feel that good. Maybe you love to be in your garden because you love to be in your garden, but being a gardener day in, day out might not be the right decision for you. Yeah. So some things also are a bit too special for us even to put money next to them. You don't make money, for example, out of your family, but that's probably one of the most important things in your life. Yeah. So there is always a way to find a place between I get money from here and I get my energy from here. And the question then becomes, how might we be able to bring those two things a bit more closely together and to use my passion and to use my skills to do something that creates value and income for myself, for my clients, for the world?
Erica, I think the job that you are doing is incredibly important because you can help as a film director in a way, as a producer. You are looking from outside on the person, having a big knowledge. What is he doing and where he's stuck? And you just telling him because it's easier to say from outside. When a person is doing something for the 5 years already, I imagine it's difficult to get out of that. And you're looking from different angles at that person and from that experience, and you find solution with him. That's why it's I think that your job is very interesting. I don't know who gave you advice to start that job. You created it yourself or somehow it came together, but I think it's very, very creative what you are doing, and it's very interesting. And how to marry your passion, how to marry your hobby and your talents with money and to be useful. I think everyone in the world is interested in that question. Everyone, because even if you are successful, I think maybe there are more chances, cooperation, promotion, new ways.
I agree. I mean, I absolutely love my job. And I think I did design it myself. That's the other thing I want to say, that is the future of work, that design of knowing what your makeup is, what your design is, and going, how can I add value in the world using these things in this way? I think that is the future of jobs and of careers. And what I would also really like to say, because it's available both in Arabic, I know you have a big Arabic audience, and in English, is I have a book called Your Life Plan that is a great read on exactly these questions.
Can you tell me, please, the name of this book? I want to type it here.
Yeah, so I have two books. The one I want to talk to you about is called Your Life Plan. Your Life
Plan.
And you can find it on Amazon for just a few pounds. You can get it secondhand, and it is available and published in both Arabic and in English. And it's exactly about how do you take this journey of discovery that my clients take and that we provide for organizations as well, of really honing who am I, what am I good at, what do I care about, and then how do I set a direction and move towards it in my life. So I would love your listeners to just know that that's something that's freely available. And if you work in a business and you want to know how to apply these, I also have a book called The Career Equation, the model that I've told you about, that tells you how we use this work within organizations to drive productivity, to drive mobility, to help women get ahead, to help diverse groups be represented at senior levels. All of that is just about this specific method of really identifying what your design is as a human being.
Erica, I want to thank you very much. I'm really very excited about what you do, and maybe I will take a consultation from you personally, because I'm very interested in this concept, how to increase, to go more, to find new ways, and combining Eastern and Western roots. I like that you combine East and West in that, which is very powerful. If it's not a secret, what is your origin?
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that, because my father is from Russia and my mother is originally an Iraqi Jew. She grew up in India. So I do indeed have Eastern and Western and Middle Eastern roots. Yeah, and I think that has been quite... The fact that both my parents are first generation migrants and have had to establish themselves and their identity in a third country, I think has taught me a lot about kind of adaptability in the world of work, and has probably shaped my philosophy.
It's very interesting because, when you can use the knowledge and wisdom from different countries, it's definitely much bigger and much broader. That's way I think it helps you to look at people from different perspective, because what I studied from working in Japan, what is good for Japanese people might be not that good for Arabic people. Japanese people are never late. If the train is late for 1 minute in Japan, it is a disaster. And you know that if it's an Arabic meeting or maybe a meeting in Kazakhstan, it shouldn't start in time. If you come 15 minutes late, don't worry, no, nothing will happen. So there is different attitude to the time, to
Mm-hmm.
the ethics, to the working ethics. And of course, if you want to make your career, you need to know all these particularities. And I think as a person who has so many roots living in England, it is already the talent to see in people what they should do. So, Erica, I will strongly recommend to people to use your talents,
Thank you.
to read your books, let your
Please.
business fly in the skies, and you do great things. And it was big pleasure to know you. And definitely we will use that skills that even in the big company, it shouldn't be boring.
Yeah.
Just think how you can make it creative at your workplace. If the corporation is huge, let's say it's 2,000 people, it's like like you can be creative like you did. You created your work because you love that and you make money out of that.
Mm-hmm.
That means you can do both, have a passion and have money. Thank you so much for your advices. It was very interesting.
My
Good luck to
pleasure.
you.
Lovely to meet you.
If I